Miami is no longer trending in front for five-star offensive tackle Mark Matthews. If he goes to Texas A&M, there could be a domino effect that drops a different five-star offensive tackle in Miami's direction.
You are Locked On Canes, your daily podcast on the Miami Hurricanes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
I am Alex Donno, and on this episode of Locked On Canes, a quarterback that Miami targeted in the transfer portal and thankfully did not get. His career might be over due to gambling. Did we dodge a Brendan Sorsby bullet? We'll talk about the next offensive tackle target for Miami, because now might be the time you move on to the next one, because things aren't looking good for five-star St. Thomas Aquinas standout local kid, another local kid reportedly about to leave the area in Mark Matthews. It's a Tuesday. It's a Truth Teller Tuesday. And Bruce, I want to say this loud and clear, because I know that when I already start talking about who the next target might be, people will say, oh, there they go with the coping. This isn't me coping, because, yeah, if Mark Matthews, as is now predicted, Steve Wiltfong dropped his prediction last night for Texas A&M. If Mark Matthews, local five-star offensive tackle, if he goes somewhere else, I'm going to be very disappointed, and I can't spin this as anything other than a loss or a whiff on the recruiting trail. I don't like this one bit, but how are you?
I'm good. I'm disappointed. But the more I think about it, the more it never really hit me that he was coming here. I don't know why. It was like he was trending. We were in the lead. We were way ahead. He didn't even go to that party at Mario's house or whatever whatever that was. So it was his birthday, which is probably nonsense. But you know what? It's okay. I don't care. I care because I want us to get all these high recruits. But if someone doesn't want to be here, I can't sit there and pout about it. I'm not going to sit here and blame Mario. And there's people that are blaming him and that he's choking and that he sucks and this and that. Come on, are you out of your mind? We just played for the national championship. So what he did that on smoke and mirrors? He did it with recruiting and making these kids better and focusing and getting their heads straight. And so that's going to happen next. If we don't get Matthews, it's okay. Get somebody else. I trust our offensive line coach. I trust the system. I trust the way they're hitting. As we heard Booker say last week, what he saw was violence. It's exactly what I saw, violence. And if we get a different offensive lineman, and who knows, this guy may be better than him. I don't know. So, but you could talk about the guy. You can pronounce his name. Good luck. I can't.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, and I'm going to have to, if this young man, and Miami is not the only other school in the mix here, but I know that if Matthews, who's expected to come off the board like any day now or any minute now, and it looks like Texas A&M is the move, Mark Matthews and this young man, I'm going to try to say his full name this one time, and then after that, I'm going to give him a nickname.
Yeah,
Oluwasemilore Olubobola. We will now call him Olu from this point forward. But this is another
just plain Olu. Olu's better.
Olu. So Olu, he's also a five-star offensive lineman. He's ranked right behind Mark Matthews on the recruiting services. This particular photo I have up there is from his 24/7 profile, but 24/7 on 3 Sports. He's a five-star everywhere. He's originally from Nigeria. He's currently residing in New Jersey, playing for powerhouse program St. Peter's Prep. But the reason why, Bruce, I now bring Olu to our full attention is that his recruitment has been very much intertwined with Mark Matthews. It's like the mirror image of it. Chad Simmons at On3 Sports pointed this out, because for as long as Matthews is perceived to have been trending to Miami, Olu was kind of the opposite, was perceived to be trending to Texas A&M, but Miami kind of making a recent surge for Olu the way Texas A&M has been making a recent surge for Mark Matthews. Now, Matthews is, I think, the higher priority for both schools, for Miami and Texas A&M, but he plays the same position as Matthews. So whoever lands Mark Matthews may then the team that loses out on Matthews will probably increase their efforts into trying to land Olu. So if Matthews goes to Texas A&M, Miami, I think, could become a front runner for Olu. And I think if Miami loses on Matthews, they will be very eager to make a splash and to get a win after losing out on Myson Johnson-Cook and Mark Matthews in the same week. Now, Bruce, I also can't say it's a 1,000% slam dunk that Miami lands Olu because there are other schools in the mix, Notre Dame and even Florida. I've had some Gator fans in my mentions like, he gonna be a Gator. Don't you guys get confident about this one. He coming to Gainesville. So that's, you're gonna have to contend with some other schools. But if Matthews goes to Texas A&M, you could probably cross A&M off of Olu's list, and Miami could become the focus from that point on.
What do you know about this kid?
I know he's 6'7", 300 pounds,
yeah,
which can bode well. High-end physical traits. I'm trying to see in his bio when he came over. I don't know. I'll have to circle back to that. I'm not sure how. I would assume he probably got a later start in American football than American-born and raised kids would have. Yeah.
What do you know about? Has he been here?
He has visited. Yeah, he has visited, and he really enjoyed his visit. There were a lot of positive.
Let's get him down here this weekend.
Get him down.
And get some people in there on his case. Get Bryant McKinney out there. Let him talk to these guys and get him. We need to get this kid. We need this kid.
Yeah, we do.
We need him. Anyway, so and the other guy out there is Jacobs, and I don't know if we're going to flip him either. I kind of feel like the wind got knocked out of both our sails.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. Well, especially, listen, I know, and I see a lot of Miami fans complaining about this, and they may put some blame on us as well, but I think it's more directed towards the national guys because oftentimes, Bruce, in like February and March, a lot of like the national hosts, the On3 24/7 guys, and we're putting out content like Miami trending towards the #1 class. And so they it kind of puts the wins in the sails of the fans. And now you're missing out on a bunch of guys because you're not going to have a #1 class without Mark Matthews and without Myson Johnson-Cook. We could still end up with a top 10 class, but people would actually be disappointed over like the #9 class because they thought we were going to get the #1 class.
Again, I trust our coaches now. Yeah. I trust the process now. I trust that Mario has these guys in practice, busting their behinds. They're fighting for jobs. They're fighting for backup jobs. They're fighting to get better. They're working hard. And again, the attitude is different. It's not the attitude of last year. Well, if this, if that, we know we can go all the way. We just need to go out there and prove it. And we need to have quality depth all over the place. And so, I'm disappointed that I don't know if we're going to ever see Hayden Lowe again. But I think having Blunt there, in addition to what's his name, number 12, I keep forgetting his name. Lightfoot. I think we'll be okay because I don't see Lightfoot as a run stopper. He's in mostly in the passing down. So I still think we're going to be very good this year. I still think we're going to win every game. And the Notre Dame game is a toss-up, but I'm sure the 56 referees that they're going to have hired just for that one game, they're all going to wear the Notre Dame stuff, the green, and they'll all have the little patches on their shoulders with the leprechaun, and we'll get screwed. But other than that, we're winning the ACC. Mensah's going to go wild. Our offense is going to be incredible. But I'm still not worried because we win the ACC. We'll probably get a bye even if we lose to Notre Dame. And I still think we could run the table next year. I just do.
By the way, I found the biographical information on Olu if you want to know more about his background. So he's only been playing competitive football for about 2 years, Bruce. He originally focused on basketball. He's 6'7". But after playing for only 1 year, decided to quit basketball, saying he wasn't good at it. Apparently, he's a lot better at football. His friends noticed his massive frame and encouraged him to try football instead. Given his interest in the game, he gave it a try, and his rise has been exceptionally rapid, transforming from a newcomer to a top 20 national recruit. So I think he started playing football sophomore year, by his junior season at St. Peter's Prep, became a full-time starter at left tackle, earning recognition for his rapid development and his nasty streak. Recently participated at the Under Armour All-American game where he played very well. So I guess his senior year of high school coming up at St. Peter's will be just his third year playing competitive American football. You're heading into your third year. You're already a 5-star. You're doing something right.
Yeah, well, that's a powerhouse school anyhow, and several of those schools up in the northeast New Jersey are powerhouses, and that's one of them. And so the fact that he's this highly regarded after only 2-3 years 2 years, he's playing this year as a senior. So, but I'd like to think we can get this kid before the summer, so it's one less thing to worry about. Don't let it drag on with the other schools, especially the Gators. Why would he want to go there? Come on.
They're having a good, they've got the new coach smell with Summerall, and they did land Max Hiller, a 5-star offensive lineman. So they're like, the Gators are recruiting very well. Now, they're not going to have nearly as good of a year as Miami is this season, and there's no guarantee you get developed as well as you would at Miami. So I think Miami could be the move. Yeah,
I'd like to think so. All right. What else have we got here?
Well, when we come back, Bruce, I want to talk a little more big picture-wise because yesterday when it became apparent that A&M was trending in front of Miami for Matthews, there's some Miami fans out there who just need to take a deep breath and touch some grass because they've turned this now into some kind of a referendum on Mario Cristobal as if he's doing a terrible job. Like, let's have some perspective. You want to keep it locked? We're only getting started on this brand new episode of Locked On Canes. We're only getting started with FanDuel. The NBA playoffs are in full swing, where every possession matters. If you're looking to get even closer to the action, FanDuel has a great way to get you started. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. That's right. Turn $5 into $150 in bonus bets just for getting started. I love using FanDuel during the playoffs because everything I need is right there in one place. On the same app where you're making your wagers, you can check your stats, your trends, and matchups before making your picks, which makes the whole experience feel a lot more informed. Whether you're looking at player props or just following your favorite stars, it adds another level of excitement to every game. And the app really is easy to navigate. It makes playoff basketball even more engaging from start to finish. So head to FanDuel.com to get started. FanDuel, play your game. If you're an everydayer, I hope you've joined the Everydayer Club, the all-access tier. If you hit that all-access tier at LockedOnCanes.supercast.com, you get exclusive episodes of the Canes Colada. You get newsletters. You get one-on-one texting with me, ad-free versions of these shows that you love so much. Go to LockedOnCanes.supercast.com and join the all-access tier of the Everydayer Club today. Bruce Warner, the truth teller, is with us here on this episode of Locked On Canes. So Bruce, obviously, I'm disappointed to see that Texas A&M is now projected to land Mark Matthews. This is a local offensive lineman that Miami has put years of time and resources into recruiting. So it's disappointing if he goes in a different direction. But I'm starting to see people in my social media feeds are like, well, you know what? When Manny Diaz was here, his average recruiting classes were only a few spots behind Mario's average. So Mario's clearly not doing a good enough job. And it's like, all right, I get it. Like,
Alex, somebody was true.
Yes. Well, I don't even know if that's true. I didn't go back and look at the averages of Manny Diaz's class, but it is true that someone was in my mention saying that.
Hard to believe. Hard to believe.
But you've got Miami fans now rolling with this idea that for a team that has gotten better every season under Mario's watch and just, I know we didn't win it, but just played for a national championship, now people out there are so bummed about Mark Matthews that they're trying to compare Mario Cristobal to Manny Diaz. It's like, go outside, breathe some fresh air, stop with the nonsense. I mean, Bruce, I've been covering practices, let alone games, for how many years? The difference out there between the rosters that Mario Cristobal has built through great recruiting and a great hit rate in the transfer portal, it is night and day. from what these rosters used to look like 4, 5, 6, 8 years ago. And you know it as well. Like, you went out there and you were amazed at the depth Miami has. So it's like, if you want to be disappointed about Mark Matthews leaving the area, fine, be disappointed, but don't start to act like Mario Cristobal isn't doing a good job. And you talk about the offensive line, Bruce, it's like, yeah, we all want Mark Matthews and Coral Gables, but keep in mind, Miami over the last couple of years, they took a raw, unheralded junior college offensive lineman named Markel Bell and transformed him into a third-round pick in the NFL draft. So not every standout on the O-line has to be someone who comes out of high school with the C.C. Mauinoa or the Jackson Cantwell pedigree. You can't land all of these guys. And if Miami misses out on Matthews, maybe it is Olu, or maybe it's Josh Sam Appel, who's 6'9". He's another guy Miami is after. Maybe one of them becomes the next Markel Bell.
Well, some of these guys need to take their lollipops or their pacifiers out of their mouths and just shut up and sit back and look at the bigger picture here. They're ignorant. And that's just, to me, that's just ignorance. Whether they like to hear themselves make stupid comments, whatever it is, that's what it is. Of course it's disappointing. It's disappointing, as you said. For years we were after this guy. And it's in this Texas A&M thing, I didn't hear about this up until very recently. All of a sudden.
3-4 weeks ago.
Yeah, but still, but for a couple of years, he was not, I never said he was locked into us, but that's what you thought. This is a local kid. He's going to come here. And he's got connections because Jason Taylor coached over there. So it's not as if he doesn't know these people. Look at the offensive line coaches he's got here. Look, it could very well be money. Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, you can't. I've said it before. Cafecito money. It's hard to compete with oil money when you have cafecito money.
They have money. They're going to spend it. They're going to throw it around. They want to buy championships. They did that when Bimbo Fisher was there. You know, buying players and spending money on these guys, and they still didn't win anything. And you know what?
Nope.
They scored 3 points against us a few months ago in a playoff game. So you know what? I don't think this kid's going to make that much of a difference for them. If we get Olu, I'll be very happy, and I'll just follow his career like we follow the other guys, like Inez Cooper, who kind of came out of the woodwork. And so, you know what? It's okay. They don't want to be Hurricanes. Move on. Not going to badmouth the kid. I won't do that. No. But if he doesn't want to be here, I'm not rooting for him. I could care less.
Right. Yeah. Same here. And like you brought up something earlier. I had the same thought as you when he didn't show up to the pool party, and people out there kind of said, "Oh, it's nothing. It was his birthday." Like, the pool party was late morning, early afternoon. Like, if he really wanted to be there on his birthday, like, he could have been. Like, that's when I started to have some concerns. Other people were like, "It's nothing. Don't read into it." I'm like, I kind of read into it, and here we are. And if anything, like you said, if he goes somewhere else, I don't really blame him, because it was mostly coming from other people saying how he's a Miami lock. Like, he never came out and said, "I'm a Miami lock." That was coming from others. So I'm not going to blame him for it.
In fact, he probably didn't say much, if anything at all, and that bothered me too.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. But again, it's over. I don't care. I want Olu. If we can get him, that would be great. A 5-star offense. He's not like we're going from a 5 to a 3-star, because that's all that's left. If we can get this guy, I hope we're all over this kid. In fact, they ought to offer him more than what he can get at Notre Dame, because we need this kid now. We need another name.
Yeah.
And after him, we've got Henderson, who I still think goes to A&M, because they're spending money like it's water. And then I don't know about Jacobs leaving Ohio State. So I don't know who's left after that, because I don't really follow the recruiting like you do. But
in terms of like the big blue chippers, yeah.
Well, we got Nick Lanier.
Yeah.
And we got some other people.
And a very good quarterback in the class, Izzy Abrams. He's a 5-star now in some of the services.
And we got another quarterback too.
Yeah, for 2028.
What's his name?
Inez? Jacksonville.
Annis.
Knox Annis.
Annis, right.
Yeah. And we're trying to get his top receiver who he plays with.
I haven't heard anything about that. Have you?
Bryson Wright, I think is his name. Yeah, I mean, I know we're in the mix for him. I don't think he's anywhere close to making a decision. Right. 28's a long way out.
And then, of course, we've got this other story that you mentioned here. What a fool.
Let's get into that. So
What a fool.
The career of one of the better quarterbacks in college football is now very much in jeopardy. And this is someone Miami wanted. Like, if this player had told Miami, this was before Darian Mensah was even available.
Right.
If this player had told Miami, I want to be a Cane, it would be Miami in this mess right now and not Texas Tech. You want to keep it locked right here. We're not done yet on this brand new episode of Locked On Canes. Thank you so much for making Locked On Canes your first listen. Make sure you make Locked On ACC your next listen. Kenton Gibbs and I had a really good episode last night. We actually talked extensively about this Brendan Sorsby situation. So make sure you check out Locked On ACC, available free wherever you get your podcasts and free on YouTube. But want to talk about it as well here with the Truth Teller. So Brendan Sorsby, who had a great couple of years at Cincinnati, a quarterback, he transfers to Texas Tech. Thank goodness his girlfriend was at Texas Tech and he wanted to be close to her and not at Miami, because Bruce, it felt to me like Miami would have taken Sorsby. That's my opinion. They would have taken Sorsby if he wanted to be here. This was long before the Darian Mensah situation developed, and thank God Mensah is a Cane and not Sorsby. So Sorsby, I'm still not sure how he got outed as an avid sports bettor. But when this information started to come out that he has made allegedly thousands of bets on sports over the last couple of years, including when he was an Indiana Hoosier a couple of years ago as a redshirt freshman. So even games he didn't play in, but it's still really it's still a no-no. Whether you're playing in the game or not, you can't be betting on your team, let alone any team in your school. It's very much forbidden by the NCAA. So Sorsby's been outed for this. When the information started to come out, PR move of I'm checking myself into treatment, to try to mitigate the damage. But Bruce, the bottom line is if there's reasonable proof that he's, as reported, has made thousands of sports bets, which you're not allowed to do, the NCAA can make him ineligible forever, and he will never play again. That's
the
situation.
Probably what's going to happen. I'm guessing. I think legally he's in real trouble. You mentioned that he would have picked Miami had he not gone to Texas Tech, but I don't know that because we were still waiting to see what happened with the Arizona State quarterback who wound up at LSU. Yeah. I don't know if we would have taken him or waited for a result from that kid. But any way you look at it, we got the best of the best anyhow. So once again, I could make this statement. I don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't care about Sorsby because he's not here. And I never thought he was coming anyway. That girlfriend thing is usually a big deal. Yeah. So that's where he goes. And now look at him. Yeah. He'll never play. He'll never play in the NFL, I don't think. And now his whole life is completely different. And as I teased off the air, maybe his girlfriend will dump him now. Who knows?
You never know.
She could transfer here and date Cooper Barkate.
There you go.
There you go.
But just, Bruce, thank goodness. I said it so many times how well it worked out that Miami was able to land Darian Mensah, because I also said it about the former Arizona State quarterback Sam Leavitt, who's now at LSU. And listen, he may go on to have a great year, but that injury of his, he couldn't practice in spring, and it's still kind of unsure what his fall is going to look like. So we're much better off because Darian Mensah, as you saw it in person, Bruce, had an unbelievable spring. The accuracy, the arm talent, the escapability, the athleticism, the leadership. I think Darian Mensah and all the weapons he has, he has more weapons than Cam Ward did at Miami a couple of years ago. I think Darian Mensah can have a great year, and we're going to be really thankful it's Mensah and not Leavitt and certainly not Sorsby, because if it was Sorsby, we'd be looking at, all right, I guess Luke Nichols going to be the guy now this year because our starting quarterback is not going to be eligible to play.
That would not have been good. I also noticed you said escapability, pocket presence. He's really got it. Yeah. He really knows where he's at all times. And when the pocket starts to collapse, he still looks to make plays and then to take off. He's really good at that. I'm I'm very high on this guy. I hope we're not disappointed. It's going to be hard to believe he could put those stats up at Duke and not at least repeat those. I mean, he may have more interceptions. I don't know, but he's going to throw for over 4,000 yards, I'm sure. And the only thing, as I said last week, if we're involved in blowouts, he might not be in the game in the fourth quarter that much. It's possible. So he may not have the overall stats as somebody else, which could hurt his Heisman chances. But as long as we're winning, I really don't care. Just win, baby. Just win. Just beat Notre Dame. And the hell with the Heisman. Just win. That's what I want.
Just win. Bruce, let people know, because people are always asking about this. Like you help, especially dads out there who are unable to see their kids, custody cases. Let people know how they can reach you.
Well, they could call me. I mean, my email address it's talkingdivorce@aol.com, but most people
still on the AOL, huh?
Yeah. I'm 43 years practicing law. I can't change it. The lawyers know it. The judges know it. Everybody knows it.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
It's registered with the bar, so I can't be changing those things around.
Okay.
You know, I would, but I can't. But you can reach me at 954-258-2525 if you want to talk about a case, or you're not seeing your kid, or you want to get divorced, or you've got a child or two from somebody, but you're having problems seeing the children. Just let me know. I'll help you out. I'll do the best I can for you, and price-wise too. You know, I don't think I charge as much as a lot of the other lawyers. I know for a fact I don't. But again, it's 954-258-2525. A lot of you guys call me or text me and talk about the show. They love the show. They love me and Alex. That's great. We appreciate that. I really do. And we've gotten a lot of accolades. He got it when he was at the spring game. I got it at the practice a couple of days before. Even like Nichols' father, Paul. I watched the show. You're great. I love it. You guys are great together. He even said, I could tell from watching the show that Alex really loves you and blah, blah. Okay, well.
I do. Paul Nichols is perceptive. He's right.
Yeah, he was a great guy. I liked him.
Yeah.
So anyway, 954-258-2525. And we'll talk about cases. We'll talk about the Canes, whatever you want to talk about. Not your personal life. I don't care about your personal life. But.
Nah, nobody does.
So this is another quiet week. I don't expect anybody to get to commit. Do you?
I mean, not at the rate we keep losing.
Yeah,
in recruiting battles.
We got to get this Olu kid back on campus.
We got to get him locked in like tonight. We need a win. It's been like 3 weeks since I've been able to do a welcome to you. Like I don't know if I can still do it. I can't hit the high note anymore. I'm out of practice.
You can do it, but the thing is that look, he's not Matthews at least, but I don't know. Maybe he's got a better upside. I don't know.
He's less
if he
developed.
Comes here, I'll be a lot less concerned about the offensive line.
Yeah, sure.
Than if we don't get him either.
Well, and the other thing on Matthews, and I think I sometimes I can't remember what I've said on the air and off the air, so you forgive me because the conversations start to bleed together. But I was telling this to you, Bruce, I think off the air, when I was talking on the phone with Kelvin Harris the other night, and this was before Matthews seems to have switched his lean to Texas A&M. Kelvin was like, if he comes here, you're not only do you see Jackson Cantwell locking down the left side for the next 3 years, you're also going to have to contend with the likes of Ben Congdon, who's trending really well on the right side for the future, and Joel Irvin, and they're both going to have a year head start on you. So it's like he might see a bigger opportunity at playing time, immediate playing time at Texas A&M. So from that standpoint, I would imagine that's probably
sense. Why would he go there and sit on a bench?
Right.
Other than just the money. Why would he do that?
Right.
But you remember the guy that opened his big mouth before we played A&M, that offensive line?
Zune. Trey Zune the third.
He got drafted.
Yeah.
Like in the 4th or the 5th round, he got drafted, that big mouth. All right.
Well, he didn't get drafted the way Maui Noah did. We appreciate everyone for making Locked On Canes your first listen. Smash that like button, subscribe, and we'll talk to you next time on another episode of Locked On Canes. We are part of the #1 Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.